Okay, so what are we looking at? This is a landing MFD I made, I think, sometime last year, but I never got around making a video for it. Okay, so just let me increase the visibility a bit so it's easier for you to see. Okay, so the idea here is to give you a multi-point altimeter. Now, an altimeter currently, like most real-life helicopters have that. Basically, it's a radar thingy that's pointed down to the ground, and it uses the radar echo to tell the sensor how far the helicopter is from the ground. And so I thought adding some type of altimeter like that to the game with multiple points per ship and give it a nice retro aesthetic, similar to something in High Fleet. Okay, so this is the orientation of a ship seen from the rear, from the side. Those are the sensor positions and the altitudes, and those are indications for the pilot what to do. Okay, so what are we doing here? Now what we see here, wait, let me set this one to 10. Okay, so now the scale is 10. Let's imagine it's an MFD and you can click on that button itself. Then it switches from 1,000 to 100 to 10 or 10,000. And if it's on 10, it means that scale over here is 10 meters, 0 meters. That's the scale. So let's assume you're flying really close to the ground and you're landing on even ground. Let's say on a landing pad, but the weather's really bad. And let's say, take the pitch meter from that thing. Let's say you're coming in at 7 degrees pitch from the front. Okay, so, and let's say we are about, it takes a moment to rearrange it because I'm basically jury rigging this in a video editing program. Okay, let's select this. Okay, let's now. It's a 3, that's supposed to be a 5, and that's supposed to be a 6. I want to explain in a moment what those numbers mean. It means I'm coming in with a 7 degree nose up pitch. And you see here, the empty dots mean empty air. And those X's mean the ground, which means about 30% from the total range of the radar altimeter set over here, you get a reflection from the ground, which means it's 3 out of 10 dots. And on that scale, it's 3 meters above ground. Well, actually, wait, I got this completely wrong. It has to be the opposite side. Nope. See, this happens if you do this stuff live. I think now I got it right. Okay, so see, that's the cool thing if you do it live. Okay, so as you can see, the ship is banked up, which means the sensor that sensor is slightly higher compared to the ground than this sensor, which means this sensor is showing a closer distance, which means empty dots, empty space. X's means something solid is below it. And it gives you a crude approximation that how close to the ground you are, which means from the ship's perspective, you're approximately going at like that, okay? And the numbers here tell you 7, 5, 3. That's how close to the ground, how much air you got to the ground. And if you're pitched like that, then the announcer would say, no, it's down. And this area here would not be green. It would be a different color. Let me see. Let's give it just a regular neutral white, which means you have to correct something, but it's not emergency. And only if something is completely even, it gets a nice green. Okay, which means you're coming in. This much space in the front, we're coming in at 7 degree pitch. You have to nose down to even out the pitch. And as you even out the pitch, come down, then it would say even and it would turn green. So if you quickly just glance at the MFD, because it's not a HUD item, it's supposed to be an MFD, then at the glance you can see everything's green, everything's fine. Because I like I have the fascination with this whole Cold War sensor system aesthetic, where even in the bad conditions, your screen is shaking, everything's vibrating. Maybe you're flying through bad weather, you're damaged. Then you want these comforting, nice green colors to tell you everything's okay. And I like the inapproximate crudeness of using some text like that with that VCR font. Okay, so you're coming in. Now there's an abstraction here. So for example, that should technically show you 2 rows because you see the right and the left sensor because it has 6 sensors. However, to not make this diagram too complicated, I'm just going to turn this into an averaged out system. So let's say, for example, the ship is also rotate it like that. Then of course this here would not be green anymore. So I'll keep this one green for now so the video doesn't get too long. Just imagine those to be white. Okay, so you see here that that's an uneven edge. And if you're seeing this from the rear, which means you have to bank left. Because the sensor is a cheap sensor made 700 years ago, you only have the word time for one word, which is left. I could make it longer, but I like the limited aesthetic of some improvised, not improvised, but older sensor. So it says left. Or it could say bank left if it were longer. Okay, so if in that situation, it tells you have to bank left and nose down to even out the ship. And then if everything is evened out, everything's green, you're basically in a hover standstill. Then you can go descent nicely down. Now let's try a different scenario. Let's say, for example, let's switch the scale to 100 meters. I'm going to give this one more of an orange one color, but still relatively bright. So there's a good contrast against that. Now what's happening here is that I'm flying at 100 meter scale, which means I'm about 500 meters. I'm flying even. All the sensors saying my ship is even. However, I get uneven data over here, and it says uneven. That actually means I'm flying over a mountain range or uneven terrain, some, let's say microtech, somewhere in the mountain area. And I'm 300 meters below the end of the ship. The ground is like that. And 500 meters below the ship, it's like that, and 700. That means you're flying straight, but the sensors pick up uneven ground, which also makes it unwelcoming for you to land on. So I think that's it for this video, and I hope it was useful and entertaining, and as always, thanks for watching.